Hello and welcome to this video all about my skin journey. My name's Kris, I'm 28 and I suffer with adult acne and it sucks. It has gotten a lot better though, which is why I wanted to make this video to discuss my journey. I don't have any major solutions, I don't have any products to plug. This is definitely not sponsored, obviously. But I just want to put this out there because it is really nice to know that you're not alone when you're suffering with things like adult onset acne. So, when I was a teenager, I hit puberty relatively early, but not that early, around 12. Started getting pimples from 12 to about 15, 16. They were your basic pimples. I would not say I had acne at all, or at least not bad acne. It was mainly situated across here, so that really basic pubescent distribution. And then I went on the contraceptive pill for a number of reasons, mainly period control, helped with my skin, and then eventually I became an adult in relationships and whatnot, so it helped there too. When I was on the contraceptive pill, my skin was beautiful. However, I ended up with a complication. I get migraines. If you're on the pill and you get migraines, your risk of having a stroke increases, so I had to make a decision about changing my form of contraception. I chose the IUD because 5 years and 99.97% less likely that I'll fall pregnant. Yes please, didn't have to do anything after it. Insertion wasn't particularly the funnest thing in the world, however, it was really good. After I went off the contraceptive pill and used the IUD, my skin stayed pretty much the same for about 2 years. In 2018, I was 25 years old, and that's when I started to notice my skin was not doing so well. I reached out to someone who I knew and was more into the esthetician and skincare sort of world, and she recommended that I start on some products that contained niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, and vitamin C. They recommended at the time that The Ordinary was a good brand that didn't have a high cost associated with it, so I used that, and after a couple of months I actually saw a really good improvement. This brings me to 26 years old when I got married. My skin on my face was pretty good. I had really bad acne though, which is the first time ever I've ever experienced this. On reflection, I wonder if it was kind of because I was a bit of a grub, in a way. I was exercising a lot, and when I would finish a session I wouldn't necessarily go straight to the shower. I would drive home from the gym, or I would put on dinner, or I would do something, so I let sweat sit a little bit on my back. Ugh. But hey, everyone does it, don't come for me. So at this point my wedding came and went, and then my skin broke out. And it may have been a combination of things. I was starting to study for my fellowship exams, I was about to move GP clinics, like there was a lot going on. And I noticed a lot of acne, more so around the edges of my face. And again, I thought this might be a sweat related thing. I was a little bit more judicious with things at this point. And I started to change my products. So I've got a list here. So at this point I was using an Aspect cleanser because on the advice of dermatology friends of mine, they said Aspect was one of the better brands. I used an Aspect chemical exfoliant. I was using an Aspect moisturizer, the Ordinary vitamin C, the Ordinary hyaluronic acid, and the Ordinary niacinamide, which is vitamin B. I wasn't using them all day every day. So I was washing my face in the morning and then moisturizing. At night time I'd wash my face, use that chemical exfoliant once a week thereabouts, and then I would use hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, and moisturize. But some nights I wouldn't do the niacinamide, I would do hyaluronic acid and vitamin C. This worked for a little bit, and then 2020 came, and 2020 sucked for a lot of us in a lot of ways, but it sucked for my skin. I can only assume it was a combination of stress and masks. So I got really bad maskne. That kind of lingered despite the fact we didn't have to wear masks for very long where I am. My skin was horrendous and it was really demoralizing. It sounds really superficial, but I cried over my skin so many times. I felt frustrated. I was doing everything right. I was washing my pillow weekly. I wasn't ever sort of leaning on my face if I could help it. I wasn't talking on the phones. I was using either speaker or Bluetooth. I was washing my face twice a day. I drank at least 2 liters of water every day. Like I couldn't pinpoint it. It really must have been down to stress and masks. Two things I had no control over. Thank you, COVID. But yeah, so I cried over my skin, and I cried because it was painful. Then I made a decision to go to a esthetician or a beauty facialist. I'm not quite sure their proper terms. I'm so sorry. Not to bash the brand, but they were promoting DMK at the time, so I got a lot of DMK products. I had 2 or 3 facials with them. The facials seemed to help after a little bit of time, but I can't say for sure if it was that or the products I was using. But I spent nearly $600 on face products. And yeah, I mean, I could have spent thousands because they were trying to sell me thousands, which I get as their job, and it may have helped some people. But I found after 6 months of use, it just wasn't helping me. I remember I had one pimple cyst that started at my jawline and it ended halfway towards my chin. And that was just one big pimple. They were blind, wasn't able to pop them even if I wanted to, which you should never do. And they were red and they were angry, and I was getting really upset. So I then tried oral antibiotics, so doxycycline. Doxycycline works because it's an anti-inflammatory antibiotic, so it can help with the inflammatory component of acne. And I did 2 courses of this, and it didn't really help. I then also tried Epiduo, which is a retinol or a vitamin A and benzoyl peroxide. Yeah, it didn't really help. I was feeling really overwhelmed and discouraged, and I hated my face, I hated my skin. I was so worried about scarring. I was frustrated that I was 26, 27 years old at this point. Never had acne problems until now. I'm an adult. I'm like in my late 20s, which, let's just take a moment because ow. Why would I be having acne? It just didn't feel fair. I did consider it could be my IUD. So one of the side effects of progesterone-only contraception is acne, though the Mirena less so because it's only locally acting. So I had it changed. Didn't make a difference. Then I made the decision to just stop pretty much everything. So I made the decision then in early 2021, after what felt like a year and a bit of just why, to stop everything. So I stopped all the DMK products. I stopped all of the fancy stuff, so vitamin C, niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, exfoliating. I just went to cleansing once a day, so at nighttime, and moisturizing. I moisturize in the morning as well because I do notice my skin's a bit drier in the mornings. And that's what I did. Once a week I was using a face sheet mask, mainly so I felt nice. It was more self-care than anything, and I have oily skin, always have done, but I was told by this esthetician that it was oil production, so I was actually dehydrated, which does make some sense. I'm a bit dubious because I don't know her qualifications on reflection, but I was desperate, and she was lovely, don't get me wrong, and I'm sure she's very good at her job. So I thought, alright, let's do like a sheet mask once a week, which is expensive and not good for the environment, so some regrets there. And yeah, I just kind of let go. And after a few months, I started to notice a difference. I stopped getting the real cystic acne, which was a huge relief. I stopped getting as many whiteheads and blackheads. And it's now September, so nearly 2 full years later. My skin is finally at a place where I'm happy. I still get blemishes, absolutely, and I still have hyperpigmentation from the inflammation or post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. I may have some scars. It's hard to say at this stage if any of them are just hyperpigmentation or if they are going to go. But I'm slowly integrating things back into my skincare because I really want to look after my skin, and I do like the evidence behind a lot of products like vitamin C for brightness and things like that, helping reduce scarring, niacinamide for similar things, hyaluronic acid for moisturizing, retinol for the anti-aging and anti-acne properties. So I am integrating some things now. So knowing my skin and my skin journey, if I start to break out more, the first thing I'm going to do is cut right back. over the course of my journey, I stopped using Aspect products. One, because they were expensive and I wasn't convinced they were helping me too much. So now I use a Dermatologica face wash, which I bought on a whim on holiday, which has been nice so far. I use The Ordinary moisturizer. I use The Ordinary's vitamin C, niacinamide, and hyaluronic acid again. I'm using a Drunk Elephant retinol just to see if it helps. I'm only using it once a week, going up to twice a week now. I do have a Skinstitute glycolic acid face wash. Face exfoliant that I use every now and again as well. So I have built back up what I'm doing, but my routine is in the morning, I don't wash, which may be gross. I put hyaluronic acid and moisturize, and then at night time I do wash. I exfoliate once a week. On a different day that I use my vitamin A, then I'll use niacinamide some nights, vitamin C some nights. I kind of rotate it through. But I also started using Benzac, so benzoyl peroxide. So I am using the same ingredients I was a year ago, but in a different combination and percentage. I think the Benzac was the thing that really helped, because that was the first ingredient I put back into my routine after I stripped it bare. Benzac you can buy from any chemist. Benzac's one of the brands that contains benzoyl peroxide. It's the one I've been using. If there's another one you like, go for it. But again, I use that on alternate nights to all my other active ingredients. I know you can very safely combine the ingredients, and I know for some people it works really, really well. It doesn't for me, I've found, which is really disheartening, but hey, kind of saves me money, maybe. So yeah, my skin went to poop in the last few years. Stress, again, is probably the prevalent theme. My diet hasn't changed much. Being lactose intolerant, I don't eat a lot of dairy, and I don't see big fluctuations when I do have ice cream or chocolate or cheese or anything like that. There's been no other food triggers. It wasn't seasonal. I had it through summer, winter, autumn, and spring. So I wish I could say, you know, I cut out dairy and I did this, or I took this supplement, or this brand really helped me. But it was just a weird journey. And I would strongly recommend chatting with your GP about your skin needs. I'm lucky I have GP training and I've got skin training and things like that behind me, but I did talk to doctors, like my own doctors, about it, and sort of got guidance there, because it is hard to treat yourself. And if you don't have the background I do, please see your GP, because we can help you. Next step for me would have been looking into Accutane. In a way, I'm very thankful I didn't need Accutane, but I was open to it. I was open to getting a referral to a dermatologist to prescribe it. I was open to paying the fees, but I am thankful that I didn't need it in the end. So that's my skin journey. So hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any video requests, let me know. But until next time, I will see you later. So stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.